Welcome back to another episode of Talking Water with SwitchWaterSupplier.com. I'm David Easson. That's Graham Mann. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. We're going to talk about how SwitchWaterSupplier.com can save you money if you are a business with a water bill. Pretty simple. If you're a non-residential building and you have a water bill and you haven't switched yet, one, why? And two, let's tell them how to do it. But one of the major, there's a lot of major sectors that you work with, isn't it, Graham? And one of them that I noticed actually on your LinkedIn the other week, as you put a picture up of you having a shower in a hotel. It wasn't actually having a shower. It was a video of a shower that you were looking at in a hotel. I'm basically looking at it going, this is too much water. It's too much. It's literally going down the drain because entitled hotel dwellers as we are, when we go and stay somewhere for a night or longer, we want bigger showers. We think it's more luxurious, which kind of is, but we've got to be really thinking about what we're doing with that water.
Yeah, I don't do it so much now, but when it's excessive, that was 70, 80 litres a minute. It was actually gushing through. In fact, it was coming out the shower so quickly that it wasn't getting down the plug hole. So, I had a fairly deep shower tray, but it was just ready to go over the top into the bathroom.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was excessive. It was a 5-star hotel, and mostly I would say that the showers with excessive flow rates on in hotels are 5-star hotels, 5 and 4-star hotels. The smaller or low budget hotels, sort of like 7-8 litres a minute. It's the top end that seems to be the challenge, really. So I suppose from a customer's perspective, and I suppose even from my perspective, if I'm spending X pounds a day to stay in a 4 or 5-star hotel, I expect it to be, a luxurious shower. If that's the price of luxury, then so be it, I suppose. And that's the hotel business's perception of what customers are looking for. Me personally, not necessarily so. You can get luxurious showers that don't use as much water, aerated water fittings and things like that, where it injects air into the water, increases the surface area of the water, and you get a luxurious shower but without the volume, if you see what I mean. So, 8 to 10 litres a minute is fine if you're using quite a large shower head and you've got plenty coming down. It's more than enough, But this was excessive, and I've been
So what's
back
the comparison in numbers terms? If you go into, say, I don't know, a regular chain, a Premier Inn, a Travelodge, compared to a 5-star hotel, what's the difference in terms of water going through those showers?
It's huge. A lot of the Premier Inn and travel lodges, they have small shower heads like this.
Yeah.
Sort of like 2.5, 3 inch diameter. Flow rates are anything from sort of like 6, 8, 7 up to 10 litres a minute. Most, if not all of them, should be around about then. You go into a 5-star hotel, and it's complete change. Absolutely complete.
How much water could go through a 5-star hotel shower?
50, 60 litres a minute. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I've seen them, and it's coming in that fast. I remember going to.
Do you think a kettle is a litre and a half?
Yeah.
So you might get through 10 kettles in a minute in a regular.
Oh, easy. Because it's pumped water systems in hotels.
But then you're talking 10 times that when you're actually in a 5-star hotel.
It's all pumped. Because you've got to go, say, for example, you're on the 6th floor, it's pumped from the ground, so you've got a tank, and you've got pressure pumps that pump hot and cold water to the 5th floor, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th floors. That's the only way to get up, so it can't get up on its own, mains pressure. And so, yeah, it's quite a serious issue, because it was so bad in Glasgow Hilton, although I've been back there since, and that's changed. And I was really pleased for that. But when I first went to the Glasgow Hilton, it was probably about 7, 8 years ago, I did a survey there, and it was huge. And the chief engineer said, we're going to have to put in some larger pipework and some bigger plug holes in the shower trays to get rid of the water. And it was quite staggering, really. And I said, well, that's not the thing. You need to reduce the amount of water that you're using in your shower head and not start spending hundreds of thousands of pounds putting bigger plug holes in. And obviously the penny dropped over the period of time, and then when I went in there a couple of months ago, it was about 10 to 15 litres a minute, down from about 50, 60. So they would have seen a massive saving in water consumption.
So that's essentially just on water consumption. They could drop about 60%, 2/3
Oh,
in terms of
absolutely.
water.
Yeah, quite easily.
And now we're in this era of all new price hikes as well, where you're looking at price rises of, depending where you are, over 50% in terms of a price rise. If you're, there's lots of ways you're looking at this. If you're running a hotel, for one, if you're in a hotel individually, a hotel group, hotel chain, you need to be looking at all of those fittings in all of your bathrooms, how much water you're using. But then on the other side, and people will be watching this who are business people, going and staying in different hotels around the world, around the country, we've got to do our bit as well, and probably do a bit of investigative work like you, and go. Well, why is there so much water going through this shower? Maybe demand that we start saving water, and not demand.
Excuse me.
And not demand that we get as much water as possible for what is essentially you're just getting clean.
So take, for instance, a leisure centre, pool and leisure complex. I know one in particular where the sub-meters are installed in all the pool makeup feeds, so we know what's going through the pool. But say a typical pool and leisure site of that size and that company was using 25 to 30,000 cubic metres a year of water, which is a lot of water. Only about 2,500 to 3,000 cubic metres a year is going through the pool. The rest is going through showers and toilets and taps. So it's primarily in the domestic, and that's where the issue is. So, but it's all to do with in hotels. It's the hotel's perception of what customers require, what they need, because they're paying X pounds at a time, and there is a level of expectation. I think it's changing. I think because sustainability and the climate is becoming more and more relevant, more important to customers. I genuinely do think that, and I think it's time for the hotels, perhaps in the hospitality sector, to take the lead. Even if it's asking questions of customers, or have one floor with water saving showers in that's 10 litres a minute as opposed to 40 or 50 litres a minute, high power shower,
Well, this is part of hotels chains around the world, and I think when you go on holiday, when you're on business, you'll stay in a hotel, and there will be a little sign by the sink to say, turn the tap off when you're brushing your teeth, save that water. Something I do now, it's a really simple thing to do, but it saves water, is you have a shower, and I'll have a shave when I get out of the shower. I won't have a shave in the shower, because you realise you're in there for another 3 minutes, and every minute is a huge amount of water going down the drain, which is not doing anything other than keeping me warm while I have a shave. There's a little insight into my own personal business there, but the other side of it is actually with those little notices in bathrooms in hotels. Do hotels just feel, well, that's all we need to do now? Actually, they're not backing up with actions when it says we need to save water, we need to save the world. And yet, every day, you might get your towel taken away and a fresh one brought in. Or, in some hotels, you're, as a consumer, you're demanding a new towel every day, depending on what kind of hotel you're in and what you think you are buying.
Yeah, a lot of hotels, they'll say, if you want a new towel, leave it on the floor.
Yeah.
I tend to, probably like you, I tend to just hang it up so it dries out, for that reason, really. So it's individuals, but I think a lot of people are really considerate of the environment, and they are, and there's an expectation in some quarters, and it's growing, that people want to see a more sustainable business. And it may well come a time where that if certain hotels aren't in compliance with what they consider to be a sustainable business, they may lose customers. So, well, you're wasting water, or the heating's always on floor 6, or whatever there is. Why are you wasting energy? Why are you wasting water? And of course, it's because of the recent increases, 30 to 50%. We keep saying the same numbers, and it's going to keep going up and up and up. And of course, it's not only that; it's the fact that there's a growing population. We're using more water, and there isn't so much about in terms of storage for reservoirs and things. So, yeah, I think the tide is definitely changing, but there are some excesses that are really quite poor, I think.
And we talk about sustainability in terms of water, that's one thing. But as a business, you're talking about water prices going up 30 to 50% for business prices. Your business starts to become unsustainable if you're nightly cost of a hotel room has to go up by an extortionate amount, people will not be coming through the door.
Well, let's not forget, water comes in from the water supply. It goes through the water company's meter. It goes into a storage tank into, say, a large building like a hotel. It then gets pumped. There are electrical pumps, so that it gets pumped up right way through to first, second, third floor, all the way to the top. It's pumped, and then it's used. As it's used, you're using hot water, which is energy. Then it's discharged away down the drain, and then it's going by gravity through the pumping stations, power to pump, into the wastewater treatment plant, power to treat, and then out into the environment. So it has a carbon signature, carbon footprint. The more you use, the more carbon you use. So it's not free of energy, because energy takes it from one place to another, and then uses energy to treat it. So it's bad from the environment all around. I think it's just education, really. We need to, if customers see a high usage shower in a hotel, and they're not satisfied with it, so this is 30, 40 litres a minute. We don't need that. It can't get down the plug hole. Do we really need to have a shower like this?
So even if you can have your say. There are you can leave reviews. You can hotels will ask you to leave a review. There's a little notepad there by the table. I'd be interested to know, people watching this, have you changed the way that you use hotels? Do you think it's still luxurious to have a huge amount of water, one of these rainforest showers, which we all look at, oh, it's amazing, man, it would be fantastic to have a shower under there. Yes, it would, but are you actually changing the way that you are using hotels, the way that you're using water? And hoteliers out there, I think we all want to know what you're doing to combat the price rises, and also maybe to try and change people's minds when they actually check into your hotel. Are you changing your offering depending on not just the fact that it costs more money with more water, but we've got to save this water, and we've got to save energy. So leave a comment below the line and let us know what you're doing, either personally or as a business as well. And if you are a hotelier with one or many hotels, switchwatersupplier.com. Graham Mann here is the man to talk to hopefully bring down those water bills and maybe take a few quid off your nightly rate as well. Might get a few people through the door. All sorts of ways to save money and to save water with switchwatersupplier.com. We'll be back with more Talking Water very soon. Thank you, Graham.
Bye for now.